So welcome to Restore. Tonight we will be really connecting to our bodies. If you have any props, have them nearby. Nothing in particular, but anything that you need to make your practice feel more supported. So pillows, cushions, blocks, straps, towels, blankets, whatever you need to fully support your body as we're moving tonight. We're going to be starting seated. So having a cushion or something to elevate your hips a little bit is always useful. And I will meet you over on mine. Okay. So take a comfortable seated position. If cross-legged is not comfortable for you, sitting on your knees is also an option, and sometimes putting a folded blanket or something behind the knees or a folded towel can help, or sitting on a block. Whatever allows your spine to be nice and tall. Make sure your arms can be comfortably placed either on your thighs or knees or in your lap. And you can soften your eyes or close them completely. As you sit here, you drop into the body, and drop into the breath. Drop in to sensation, the familiar feeling of air on the skin, of your seat on the earth. Of the interaction of your body with the external environment and with your internal environment. This week, my theme has been feeling alive, celebrating and reconnecting to the awareness that we are spiritual beings within this beautiful vehicle of a physical body. And these two are linked. They're mutually dependent. They are part of the same, part of a trinity of body, mind, and spirit. And the breath is the bridge that links them all. So as we move through our shapes tonight, we keep coming back to that bridge, energetically nourishing and letting go, physically bringing in oxygen, letting go of carbon dioxide, fueling the body, emotionally calming, and spiritually reconnecting. With every inhalation, we're going to put some extra intention into bringing in everything healing, everything nourishing, everything your body wants and needs. And with every exhalation through the practice, we'll bring some extra intention into letting go, to releasing what is no longer needed, to melting, surrendering. So as we slowly open our eyes, we'll start to bring some movement to the breath. As we inhale, we'll reach the arms up and overhead. Exhaling, drawing those hands down through the middle to the heart center. Again, inhale and exhale. And one more time, gathering all that energy, all that nourishment, and exhaling, drawing into yourself. We're going to interlace the fingers in front of the heart center. As we exhale, press those palms out in front. Curl that back. Inhale, reach up. 3 more of those. Just bringing a little bit of movement into the shoulder girdle, into the spine, the ribs. Beautiful. Last one, come all the way up. Release the fingertips, and we're going to bring the right arm down and arc over to the right. You can keep the left arm up there as long as you can relax that shoulder away from the ear, or you could even bring it behind the back of the head so that that head can rest in the hand. Really focusing on anchoring down through the left hip and opening up through the left side body. Hold here and breathe. Feeling a little bit more release with every exhale. And inhale all the way back up. Reach down with the left hand, arc over, opening up the right side of the body. And again, maybe bringing the hand behind the back of the head to cradle it. As you stretch and breathe, feeling the ribs expand with every inhalation. And then your body settle into the position with the exhalation. Holding this a little longer really allows us to explore how deep that breath can take us. And inhale all the way back up to center. Keeping the arms down at the sides, we'll draw the chin in towards the chest without really grounding through the back of the shoulders, really isolating just the cervical spine, back of the neck. If you need a little bit more, You could gently traction your head downwards with your hands. And then slowly come back up to center. And then right ear towards the right shoulder. Keep those left fingertips down. You might even walk them away from you a little to intensify the lengthening on the left side. And you might even take the top of the ear with your right fingertips and traction away. Just getting a little bit of an extra stretch through that left side from the scalp all the way down through that left arm. Release that side and let the chin trace this half circle. So, and then the left ear comes towards the left shoulder. You have to excuse me, I have a terrible kink in that side today, so mine doesn't do that. Right hand walks away, and maybe the left hand tractions the right ear up and away. We breathe, really imagining that line of energy, of that line of connective tissue, of fascia that encases everything from the ear all the way down to the fingertips. Visualizing the breath not only physically expanding and letting go, but helping to release any trapped emotions, any stored stuff in that tissue. Come all the way back up, release that, and then a little bit of a circle back and forth, whatever your neck is asking for. Coming back to center, and shake it out a little bit. I'm going to reach the legs out in front of us right away. If you are on something high, you might need to come off or unfold the blanket and make it a little lower so that we can come into a V sit here, firefly. Take the hands behind you for a moment and just lift the sit bones off the floor and then let them settle back down onto the floor. You might keep the hands there for support as you soften the thighs down towards the earth. Toes are alive and awake, but not overstrained. And we just say good evening to a new line of energy here. We feel the inner thighs, our legs, and then perhaps we start to tip our bodies forward slightly. If the body can go further, we could start walking. If we need a prop of some sort to catch us, we could start to hug in a pillow or something as we fold forward. You may even have room to catch your forehead with a block, with a prop, with more pillows, or with your hand, like I'm doing. And then we melt here. Inhaling, nourishing the body, exhaling, really melting deeper into the pose. Again, think about that fascial tissue and imagine it being nourished with blood flow and oxygen on the inhalation. And imagine the relief, letting go of whatever you don't need stored in there, whatever tension on the exhale. All the sensation is a reminder of the here and now, of our celebration of feeling alive. We hold here for 2 more breaths. And then slowly press ourselves back up and give a little shake. So we'll bring a little bit of movement in, move any props out to the side. We'll bend that left knee and the right leg, but internally rotate the left leg, externally the right, so that we come into a deer pose. Each are bent to about 90 degrees, and we'll come into a flow with our upper body. So resting on that left hand to begin with, we draw a semicircle around us with that right hand, as if we were drawing a circle in the sand, and then lift into an arc. Exhale, retrace that circle around you, and then with the left arm, follow through and arc. Trace that semicircle and then start to watch your breath. Inhaling as you open into the arc, exhaling as you swoop around. Finding some fluidity in the motion, pausing as needed, and working through any cricks and cracks. One more swoop back to the left. And then we're going to fold over that left leg, coming to elbows or to a prop, determining your angle, maybe experimenting a little bit, shifting left, shifting right, and finding that sweet spot in the outer left hip. Finding a place to rest. Preferably, if you can rest your head and relax your neck on something, then doing so. So just like a pigeon pose, but without that extended back leg. Melt here. Scan the body as you breathe for any places that you're unintentionally gripping or holding. Now we're awakening that outer thigh, that outer hip, the back of the hip, the buttock, a little bit of the lower back. checking out what we have to wake up here, what we have to let go. And slowly press ourselves back up, and we'll switch sides. So internally rotating the right leg, externally rotating the left, coming into deer pose on this side. We lean into that right hand at first and sweep that circle in the sand around us with the left fingertips. Open up and then sweep back towards the left. Right arm follows. We are, and we exhale and sweep. Noticing the difference in the sides. Pausing as needed in those juicy spots. Flowing through those spots that feel a little restricted. We'll do one more in each direction. And then swooping back over towards the right. Taking a prop if needed, and finding our placement on this side. Noticing the differences, making sure we can find a comfortable place for the head so that the head and the neck can release completely. Maybe adjusting a little bit, going to the right a little, going to the left, and feeling where your outer hip really responds. Again, that juicy feeling, not necessarily, it's definitely not pain. It's not necessarily comfortable. It's usually a curious place, a place where there's some activity. Sometimes there's a little sigh from the body of knowing, oh, that's what I need. And as you become body aware through your practice, through the day, through the years, you realize that every single practice is its own. Every day there might be a different juicy spot. So we meet the body where it's at. We also see our patterns. But each time we come to a shape, we approach it like the first. We inhale, we send nourishment, life, we send love. The exhale helps us to release and let go. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And then press all the way back up. Take the legs out in front, give them a little shake. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet in towards each other, knees out to the sides in Baddha Konasana. If the knees need a little bit of support, again, 2 pillows or blocks under there or toilet paper rolls. And then we can take hold of the ankles. If you feel like you're rolling off the sit bones, you can take those heels a little further away until you can come right up on those sit bones, sitting tall. For the first part, we'll flow a little bit. So on the inhale, keeping the elbows close to the inner thighs, we're going to inhale and press those thighs up towards the elbows, give it a little resistance. And as we exhale, we release. So some active release stretching here. So we inhale, press those thighs up, activate the legs. Exhale, let go. Let's do that 3 more times. And after that last time, we let those knees just fall, and perhaps we can fold forward, releasing the head and the neck to make this more supportive. Again, always could have a prop or more props to place between the legs to catch the torso on its way down. It's always nice to have a way to catch the head so that you can fully let go there. But whatever is available to you. So reconnecting with the inner line of the legs again. But this time also getting a little bit of that low back, the sacroiliac joints, the hips, the back of the hips. And then the rounding of the spine, activating that fascial stretch all the way up the back line of the body. With your breath, you can check in to anywhere else you may be holding unintentionally. Be curious. What is trying to hide in there? What might we be bracing against? What can we breathe more life into? And then 2 more breaths here. And slowly making our way back up. We're going to keep the general shape, but actually expand that diamond a little bit so that the heels come even farther away from the pelvis. And we're going to be coming into a simpler position, but this time, again, getting a little bit more on the outer edge of the thighs and the legs. So again, we could have something to catch us on the way down, but we start to tip over again, coming into a modified tortoise pose. You may find that you might be able to come a little bit deeper in, or maybe it's completely different. Maybe this one is more difficult to fold forward in. But notice the change. Notice where we're activating now, and breathe into that lateral line of the hips and the thighs. Release through the shoulders and the back. We'll do 2 more breaths here. Exhaling out anything you don't need to bring along with you. Slowly press yourself back up. Now draw those knees towards each other. You might want to windshield wiper the legs side to side. Give them a little shake. And then we're going to come over onto hands and knees. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Just a little bit of flowing here to get the energy moving through the spine. We'll inhale into cow and exhale into cat. And again, just letting that breath bring in all that nourishment. And as you exhale, give away anything you don't need. Do 2 more rounds of breath at your own pace. And then we're going to come into a child's pose. Knees apart, toes together, hips back towards the heels. You may or may not have something to catch you on your way down. If you are being caught by a pillow or a cushion or a bolster, I'll tell you halfway to turn the head the other way. Or perhaps you're coming all the way down onto your hands or the earth. And here, every exhale draws us deeper into our safe little home. Every inhalation, you feel that back body expand, puff up, the fascia getting a nice, such a gentle pull, but just enough to bring in life, awareness, blood flow. You can turn your head the other way. Relaxing through the shoulders, the jaw, the scalp, the forehead. letting the hips be heavy. And then we're slowly going to come out of that, coming up a little bit, but we're coming into a twisted child's. So bracing yourself with the right hand will sweep that left arm through. Now your hips may be fairly high here, and you can keep yourself supported with that right hand. If it's available to you, you can reach that right hand around. But your head will be on the left side, you'll be on the left shoulder, just getting a nice stretch there. Beautiful. One more breath here. Then we'll come all the way up and flip over to the other side. So bracing, turning to the left, bracing yourself with the left hand, sweep that right arm through the window, coming on to the right side of the head, the face, the right shoulder. And breathing on this side. The left arm may come around to reach to the right hip, the right hip flexor, or it might stay there supporting you. And then slowly we'll make our way back up. And we're going to be coming into pigeon now. So we were in a modified version of pigeon earlier. If you rather do that again, that's great. Otherwise, we'll bring that left knee forward towards the left wrist. Cross that left leg across the mat widthwise, and then walk the right leg back behind you as far as it'll go. And then you can decide if you need a cup or anything supporting underneath that left hip and thigh so that you can really give over to the earth underneath. Once you've found that position, you can stay there, bracing yourself with your hands. You might start to walk down onto the elbows, onto another pillow or prop, or eventually making your way all the way down to the earth. Again, ideally having something for the head, whether it's the hands, the floor, or a prop underneath, so that you can breathe a lot of space into the neck and shoulders. And so that every exhale allows you to give over into the earth. Feel grounded with every exhale. Feel like the hips sink even a micrometer deeper. all that sensation bringing you in to the present moment and all the power that you have in this moment to feel alive, to reawaken, and to even change that tissue, any restricted places, any things that you're holding in there. And then slowly pressing yourself back up and extracting yourself from the pose on that side and switching sides. So bringing the right knee towards the right wrist, crossing the right leg across the mat, walking that left leg back as far as you can, deciding if you need some support underneath that right hip. And then slowly melting your body forward, finding a place to rest. Breathing and really, really experiencing how the breath can act like that bridge, how the breath accesses every layer of ourselves, links them, unites them, aligns you. We'll take 2 more deep breaths on this side. Enjoying all the moments. And then slowly pressing yourself up, extracting yourself from that side and coming down onto your abdomen. You can take a moment here, make a little triangle for your forehead with your hands, and wiggle. Reacquaint yourself with the earth and adjust to this new position. We'll do one heart opener here in Sphinx. Walk those elbows underneath you, perhaps a little bit ahead of your shoulders, so that we're not overarching here. Let everything from the pelvis down relax into the earth. Unclench the buttock, let the tops of the feet melt into the floor, the thighs, the pubic bone, even the lower abdomen melt completely. You could stay here. You could even bring something underneath the forehead here to rest. Just enjoying that gentle arc up the spine. Or you could make it a little bit more active And start to draw your heart forward enough, letting the head and neck be an extension of the spine, not needing to take it beyond the the general arc of that spine that you have from tailbone all the way to the top of the head. But just enough to feel that gentle pull through the fascia of the front line of the body. Every breath, infusing it with life, with oxygen, with awareness. Every exhale, a reminder the earth is underneath you, that you can let go. You can release anything you don't need. And then slowly make your way back down to the floor. Do some wiggles and prepare to turn over onto your backs. Once you get there, bend the knees, bring the feet mat width apart, let the knees fall in towards each other. Reacquaint yourself with the floor in this direction, giving over, letting the pelvis settle. If there's anything else that your body is craving before final relaxation, allow it to move through. So some things that your body might be asking for might be a hug, might be a happy baby, maybe even a gentle twist on each side. Breathe through any movement, any shape that's being asked for. And once you've moved through that, slowly make your way into your final relaxation. So that might be different for each of us. We may need props, something underneath the knees. We may need legs up the wall or draped over the edge of a bed. We may need to be on our sides, on our fronts. And perhaps even you're going into a meditative posture, seated. Wherever you're going, make your way there. And settle in again. after having moved slowly, mindfully, after having gently and lovingly tugged at the lines of our body, the fascia that lay just beneath the skin surface and around the organs, after having infused it with breath, blood flow, awareness, after having used the breath to let go, to release, and to bring back to life, we can settle in and notice the flow within. And if this isn't your first yoga class, this feeling is familiar, just as familiar as your own skin, your own structure, your own breath and heartbeat. The feeling of life, of wakefulness, but that good calming wakefulness in every single nook and cranny of the body. What is it like to have body, mind, and spirit? To be a spiritual being in a thinking, feeling, sensing body. Embracing this whole experience, embracing every level of self. It's not always easy, but it's life and it's ours. Stay here for as long as you can. For as long as your schedule allows, for as long as you want. Refreshed, restored, renewed, ready to either crawl into bed or go on with your life. I thank everyone for sharing with me. Make sure you thank yourself before you leave for celebrating life. The life within me, the light within me, nods to, acknowledges, and honors the light in all of you. I apologize for my lack of mobility tonight with my neck. It's pretty bad. It's a wicked king. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, night, weekend. Bye.